Hello dear students, welcome to our education, and today we have brought lesson 5 of geography, and that is of class 6 CBSE board, and the name of the lesson is major landforms of the earth. And the concept map of this lesson is that we are going to cover explanation of mountains, plateau and plains. So let us start the lesson. Now, do you know the surface of the earth is not the same everywhere? The earth has an infinite variety of landforms. Infinite means variety of landform. As you can see over here, these are mountains and these are plain areas, plateau, not so very plain, but this portion is lower than this mountain, and these are mountain ranges, means they are spreaded from this left side to this right side and so on. And this portion, you can see it is written lake over here. These are rivers and these are the tributaries of the river. This area is plain, this is mouth of river and isthmus, peninsula, sea, hill, basin. So this way you can see our earth is not even and not equal or not uniform everywhere. It has lot of variety of landforms all over. The way we eat variety of food in our lunch, breakfast, dinner, see what we eat in morning, we don't eat that in afternoon, and what we eat in afternoon, we don't eat that in our dinner. Our mother, our parents, they cook variety of food items for us. Similarly, we also have a variety of clothes for us to wear. We don't wear same types of clothes on all the occasion. When you go to school, you wear uniform. When you go to party, you wear casual dresses. When you go for trekking on jogging, you wear some other dress. So this way our earth is also mixture of varieties. Some part of the lithosphere may be rugged. Rugged means this type of, not very smooth, very hard. Uneven means rugged. Okay. And some part of earth, it may be very smooth, as you can see, है ना? This area is feeling like very smooth texture, but this area, this platform has the texture is very rugged. A hill, next is, what is hill? A hill is a land surface that rises higher. Now as you can see, this will be known as hill. Okay, and because it is known as hill, why it is not plain? Because it is a little bit higher than the surrounding areas. If you'll assume this is a surrounding area, then assume this is an hill. This is a hill. Why so? Because it is raised means a slight height of this place. That's why this is known as hill. Now what is mountain? Generally a steep hill. Steep means just like this. Okay, it seems like when you are going to stand on here, you are going to fall down very quickly as well. So this hill will be known as steep hill. Okay, and steep, as you can see, if we'll draw like this, then this will be known as steep hill. But hills, they have elevated means very flat type, means if I'll draw like this mountain, it will be known as flat mountain, but if I'll draw like this, then it will be steep hill. Okay, so if the height of this hill is more than 600 meter, then it means it is a mountain. So when some hill will be known as mountain, when the height of any hill is more than 600 meter, then only it will be known as mountain. But if the height is less than 600 meter, then it is hill. So this is the main and common distance between hill and mountain. Formation of landforms. Now how all these land formation have been formed, how these have been made, how these have been developed. These landforms are result of two processes, means by two methods these all landforms. When I talk about landforms, what do you understand? Landform means mountain, plateau, plains, etc. Okay, so these all are landforms of the earth. Similarly, if you make some house, you don't have all the rooms equal or common or similar. You make some You convert some room as your puja room, you convert some other room as your kitchen, you convert some room as your drawing or living room, and some rooms are converted into bedroom, and some small rooms are converted into your washroom, right? And some rooms are also converted into your storeroom. So similarly, your house has also not the similarity or the common features, and similarly our earth also does not have common feature. So these landforms, they are made up of two processes. What is it? The first process is known as internal process, and what is it? Upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface at several places. See, upliftment, what do you mean by upliftment? When we raise something, then that is known as upliftment. Suppose this was earth billions and millions year ago, okay, and some of the earth surface it has raised like this, but some of its surface it has sunk like this. This is known as sunking and this is known as raising, okay. So this way all these landforms, they have been formed. As you can see, this area is raised, but this area is sunk. So this way this area is raised but these areas are sunk. So this way all the surface of the earth has been formed. Now the second process is also known as external process, that is the continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface. Wearing down means when all the material which is over here, it is blown away with the help of rain, sometime with the help of wind, with the help of heat, then this process is known as external process. Suppose it was a very high mountain many millions and thousand years ago, but with the course of time, after for many years continuously air is blowing on this surface, and air has moved away lot of sand, lot of mud from this place, from here to somewhere else. So what had happened, the height of this mountain has become very low, okay. So the landform also changes with the external process also. The wearing away of the earth's surface is called erosion. As you can see in this picture, the clear and the best example of erosion, this is soil erosion. Earlier this whole land was a plain land, okay, and it was joined from here to here, but due to the water, due to the continuous rainfall, what has happened, the water stream it continuously flowing from here, and that water stream it has started taking lot of mud with it, and slowly this small stream it had created this much of big erosional space over here. So this is the example of erosion, when all the water takes away the fertile soil from the upper surface of the earth. This is also one of the example of erosion. See, these are the Grand Canyons, and earlier they were all only one landform, but due to the rivers have taken away a lot of soil from these areas, and see now how deep they have made these landforms. These are still plateau, but see these depth of these rivers. Next is deposition. The previous what we saw, it is known as erosion, when all the soil is washed away with the help of river or water, then that is known as erosion, and the opposite of erosion is deposition. Deposition means when lot of air, lot of wind, and due to other features all the sand, soil or the mud of the other place is deposited at some other place. See, here we can see the example of deposition. Here what has happened, air has deposited the sand or the soil of other places over here, and so this small hill of sand or soil has been created here. So this is known as deposition, and deposition is caused by these two processes, both erosion and deposition. They are caused by running water, ice and wind. So these are the three important features by which erosion or deposition is caused. Next is different landforms. Now what do you mean by different landforms? As you can see this picture, the first is mountain. Mountain is The height of the mountain is more than 600 meters. Next is plateau. Plateau always have flat top. See, but the mountains, they don't have flat top. They always have very steep and pointed top. But this is plateau, and plateaus, they have flat top. And the third landform is plain. Plain is, see, they are long areas. Plain areas means. So these are three important landforms of the earth: mountain, plateau, and plains. Let us talk about mountain first. A mountain is any natural elevation. Elevation means height of the earth's surface. Now this is known as elevation, and this is earth's surface. If earth's surface has elevation, then that is known as mountain. So a mountain is natural elevation of the earth's surface. It is considerably higher than the surrounding area. As you can see, this is surrounding area, but surrounding area does not have that much of height which a mountain has. So the height is known as mountain, but the plain will be known as plain. The mountains may have a small summit and a broad base. See, this is small summit. Small means small and broad means broad. Okay, so a slight flat summit will be known as broad summit, but a very pointed and sharp this peak will be known as small summit. Some mountains are even higher than the clouds. As you can see, mountains are above the clouds. So sometimes mountains can reach even above the clouds. As you go higher, the climate becomes colder. Okay, if some mountains, in some mountains, there are permanently frozen river of ice, and they are called glaciers. You know, the maximum source of water on our land is what? It is glaciers, and glaciers, they form rivers, and rivers, they provide us water. So if there will be no glaciers, we will have no water, rivers, and we will have no water. So glaciers are very important for us to survive on the earth. Because of harsh climate means the climate is not friendly in mountains. You have to move from long distance to long distance because roads are not easy to build on these mountains. So most of the time, people, what do they walk from one place to another on their foot. They cannot drive cars, they cannot drive big vehicles in mountains. So what happens, mountainous areas are not very good or suitable for people to live. So the maximum number of people, they prefer and they love to live in the plains area, not in the mountainous region. So in mountains, we will find less people living. Since the slopes are steep, these are slopes. Okay, so less land is available for farming. Mountains may be arranged in a line known as range. So if this is a single mountain, we'll call it mountain. But if many mountains are connected with each other, see, it is starting from here, but in the picture we can only see this much. But if you'll look it by your naked eyes, then what will happen? These mountains, they will look like as if they are not ending. So they will start from here and end up to long distance, and sometimes they cover up to many thousand kilometers of distance. So this connection is known as range, and this is known as mountain range. Many mountain systems consist of a series of parallel ranges extending over hundreds of kilometers. And you know, in India, the Himalaya mountains, they are starting from Himachal Pradesh and they are extending up to Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. So this much is the long distance of the Himalayan mountains, mountain ranges. Next is the Himalayas, the Alps, and the Andes are mountain ranges of Asia, Europe, and South America respectively. Himalayas, they are in Asia, Alps, they are in Europe, and Andes, they are in South America. Mountains vary in their height and shape. Means some mountains are of less height, but some mountain may be of more and more height. And shape also, you can see all the mountains, they are not equal in shape. All the mountains, they have different kinds of shapes. Now let us talk about types of mountain. How many types of mountain do we have? First type of mountain is known as fold mountain. As you can see, when we fold some paper in zigzag position, then this look like fold mountain. Next is block mountain. Blocks are something like what you call them, you compare them with bricks what are which are used to make your houses. So these block mountains, they just look like bricks. And the third one is volcanic mountain. They are easy to recognize because you know the upper mouth of these volcanic mountains, it is always open and it is always like hole over here. So these are three types of mountain: fold mountain, block mountain, and volcanic mountain. Let us talk about volcanic mountain, sorry, fold mountain first of all. The Himalayan mountains and the Alps are young fold mountains with rugged relief and high conical peaks. Why these are young mountain? Because what happens if the mountains are old, their height will also decrease. You must have seen very tall person in their youth. People seems to be very tall in their youth when they are young, but as soon as they get old and older, their height also decreases and they also bend a little bit. Suppose a person who was young and that time he was 6 feet tall, but in his old age he will appear as if he is 5 foot 8 inches tall, but 2 or 3 inches of his height will decrease somehow, or he will get folded. Okay, he will bend towards front side. So this way old mountains, they are small in height, but the new mountains or the young mountains, they are very tall in height. That's why in Himalayan mountains, Mount Everest is the highest peak of the world. Next, let us talk about fold mountains. The Aravalli range in India is one of the oldest fold mountain system in the world. Just like Himalayas are the young mountain, Aravalli system, it is the oldest fold mountain system in the world. The range has considerably worn down. Now see the height of Aravalli ranges mountain, it has been reduced. You know why? Because they are means millions and billions year older than the Himalayan mountains, and due to rain, due to snowfall, due to wind, due to storm, all the sand, all the mud, all the soil of these mountain tops has been removed. Okay, and all the soil from here, it has gone down. That's why the height of Shivalik or Aravalli mountain is less. The Appalachian in North America and the Ural mountains in Russia, they also have rounded features. Rounded features mean the top is a slight rounded, and they have low height. They are also example of very old fold mountains. Fold mountains are created. Now, how fold mountains are created? Where two or more of Earth's tectonic plates are pushed together. Just see in this picture and imagine you are doing the same activity this girl is doing. Just take one paper and fold it towards each other. Then what will happen? The middle portion of the this page, it will raise. So this is how these fold mountains are created. Due to lot of pressure, what happens, these tectonic plates of Earth's surface, they get pushed towards each other, and due to this pushing, the middle center part of this Earth's surface, it get raised up and it makes the shape of mountain, and the rest of the portion, it raised down, and the same thing happens again over here. Okay, so this way these mountains are made. Next is block mountains. Block mountains are created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically. Now earlier this whole area was plain and connected to each other. Now due to some activity which was due to some processes that took underneath, what happened, some portion of this plane, it has sunk down, and rest of they looking like as they are raised up, but they have not raised up. In fact, this area, it is sunk down. So if such types of mountains are formed, then they are known as block mountain, and the upper portion is known as host and the lower portion is known as graben. Okay, upper portion, it is known as host, and the lower portion, it is known as graben. The Rhine Valley and the Vos Mountain in Europe are example of such mountain system. As you can see, these are looking like block mountains. The whole system, it is uh, upper portion means this is Horst, and this lower portion it is Graben. Third one is volcanic mountain. Volcanic mountains are formed due to volcanic activity. And volcanic activity means when lot of volcanic eruption is being done over its top, then such mountains are formed. When earth becomes too hot from inside, then it finds a very weak point to come out all the lava, to take out all the lava from some of the point. And when those mountains are very weak with weak top, what happens, all the lava burst from here and all the lava comes out of the earth's surface. Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mount Fujiyama in Japan, they are examples of such volcanic mountains. Now, what are the common uses of mountain? The mountains are a storehouse of water. As I told you earlier, if there will be no mountains, we will not have any glaciers, and without glacier, it is impossible to form river, and without river, it is impossible that we will get water. There will be sea, but sea water is not fit for drinking. It is very saline. Saline means lot of salt is dissolved in sea water, so we cannot drink it. So for drinking, we will require only river water. Many rivers have their source in the glaciers, and glaciers are found only in the mountains. That's why mountains are very useful to us. Next is reservoirs are made and water is harnessed for the use of people. Reservoir means this is the place where all the reservoir, this is reservoir in mountainous region where there are lot of rivers to make dams. This lake type of shape is made, so this shape is known as reservoir, and this reservoir is very help to take waters to the field for irrigation and to store water for the use and generation of hydroelectricity as well. As you know, this is dam, and when this water flows from with a great speed, the motors which are situated at the bottom of this dam structure, they keep moving, and when they keep moving, then lot of heat is generated, and that heat is converted into electricity, and then that electricity is being supplied to our houses. Mountains, the river valleys and terrace are ideal for cultivation of crops. Where there are lot of rivers, the areas around river, it is very fertile, so it is very ideal for us to grow crop in these areas. Mountains have a rich variety of flora and fauna, means you will find lot of plants and lot of animals, means variety of animals and plants in mountainous region, which are good to see, attractive for our eyes also. The forests provide fuel, see this is fuel, fodder for our animals, shelter to many people, and other products like gum, resin, etc. These are only some of the product. If you'll count, you will get lot of other products also which we get from mountain. Mountain provide an idyllic site for tourists also. Lot of people, they love to visit to the mountain. You will hardly see any people visiting plain area during their leisure time, during their vacation. Everybody prefer to go onto the mountains in their holiday time. You know why? Because they give you a pleasant scenery and pleasant scenic beauty. They visit the mountains for their scenic beauty. Several sports like paragliding. You cannot do this paragliding in plain area. You will require some mountain hill or mountain top to do this type of sport. This is paragliding, this is hand gliding, this is river rafting, and this is skiing, I mean. And so these all games you can only do and conduct only in the mountainous region. Next is Mauna Kea. It is in Hawaii Island or in the Pacific Ocean, is an undersea mountain. Undersea mountain means the half portion or the bottom portion of this mountain is under the sea, and it is even higher than Mount Everest, being 10,205 meters high. Now, as you can assume from this picture, that if it would have not sunk under the water, then the height of this mountain would have been even greater than the Mount Everest. But just because this area has been drowned in the sea, so half of the mountain's area it is drowned in the sea. Only this much area is raised. Okay. So as you can see, 8850 is the height of Everest, but the height of this mountain is 10,203, and just because of this maximum portion of this mountain is under sea, we don't consider it as the highest mountain of the world. Next landform is plateau. Let us talk about plateau now. The height of plateau often varies from few hundred meter to several thousand meter. If this plateau is some 100 meter, then you will find that this plateau is 1,000 meters high. Plateaus like mountain may be young or old, I mean. And see, they have small height. These are also plateau, but they have very high height, so they are also plateau. So plateau can be of low or as well as big height. A plateau is an elevated flat land. Elevated means a slightly raised portion of our landform. It is flat top table. The top portion of the plateau is always flat from, and it is of height from its surrounding areas. A plateau may have one or more sides with steep slopes. These are steep slopes. The Deccan Plateau in India is one of the oldest plateau. The East African Plateau in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, and the Western Plateau of Australia are other examples of plateau. The Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world with the height of 4,000 to 6,000 meter above the main sea level. Okay, so the highest plateau in the world is Tibetan Plateau. Plateaus, just like mountains, they are also very useful. And now what they do, because they are very rich in minerals deposit. Mineral deposit means you can find coal, you can find oil also here, you can find lot of other minerals like tin, copper, aluminium, iron. These types of minerals are found in only plateaus. As a result, many of the mining area, this area is known as mining area. Mining means when you extract lot of minerals by digging earth surface, then it is known as mining areas. African plateau is famous for gold and diamond mining. So in Africa, lot of gold and diamonds are hidden under the plateau. So as you can see in the plateaus, these stones like looking like, but actually they are polished, and thereafter they are converted into beautiful and very costly expensive diamonds. In India, huge reserves of iron, coal and manganese are found in Chota Nagpur Plateau. In the plateau areas, there may be several waterfalls also, as the river falls from a great height. In India, the Hundru fall in Chota Nagpur Plateau on the river Swarn Rekha. Jog Fall in Karnataka is example of such waterfall. See how big this waterfall is. So all these types of waterfalls can be formed only in the plateau region. The lava plateau are rich in black soil that are fertile and good for cultivation. It is mixture of many minerals, and minerals are good for cultivation or the crop. That's why it also increases fertility. Many plateaus also have scenic beauty, means tourists are also attracted towards the plateau, and they are attraction for tourists as well. Now let us talk about plains. Plains are large stretches of flat land, as you can see in this picture. So these stretches are very large. They are generally not more than 200 meters above main sea level. Some plains are extremely level, And most of the plains, they are formed by river, because what happens when river comes out of mountains, they bring lot of fertile soil from this mountainous region, and when they are unable to take it more further, they deposit it at one place, and where they deposit it, it makes a flat land, and that flat land is known as plain. The rivers flow down the slopes of mountain and erode them. They carry forward the eroded material, means all sand, soil with them. Then they deposit their load of consisting stone, sand, and silt along their courses. Courses means on their banks, towards left side, towards this right side. So these are banks of the river, and they deposit all the soil or sand or silt over here. It is from these deposits that plains are formed. Plains are very fertile. Construction of transport network is also very easy in plain area. It is obvious because in mountainous region it is very difficult to construct road, and for vehicles also it is very difficult to move very fast. But in the plain areas, as you can see here, developing train network, developing road network is much easier than the mountainous area, and that's why this is the reason why plain area is very thickly populated. Thickly populated means lot of people, they love to live in the plain areas only. In Asia, these plains are formed by the Ganga and the Brahmaputra rivers, and in China these plains are formed by Yangtze river. Plains are most useful areas for human people to live. There is a great concentration of people, as more flat land is available for building house as well as for the cultivation. Cultivation means growing crop or agriculture activity. In India too, the Indo-Gangetic plains are the most densely populated regions of the earth. Indo-Gangetic plains means all the cities which are situated on the banks of uh, river Ganga, river Yamuna, Saraswati, etc., like Varanasi, Delhi, Lucknow, Patna, Calcutta. These all cities, they are situated on the banks of one or some other river, and these all cities are very densely populated because people love to live near the river banks, because rivers and water, it provides lot of uh, opportunities of employment for the people. Life is difficult in mountainous region. Plains provide much better condition. It is easy to grow crops, build a house or a road in a plain area than in a mountainous region. Sometimes natural calamities such as earthquake, volcanic eruption, storms and floods cause widespread destruction. Huge loss of life and property also take place. So you cannot escape away from all these natural calamities, whether you are living in hill, whether you are living in mountainous region, plateaus or plain area. If you are living in plain area, then you have the all the most of the time fear of stucking in flood. But if you are living in a mountainous region, then there is always fear of landslide. And if you are living near the coastal areas, means where there are ocean or seas are nearby, then there are always fear of storms. So this way these natural calamities can occur on any types of landform. So these are some important questions related to this lesson. That's all for this lesson. Thank you so much, and please do like and subscribe and share as well our channel Wow Education. Thank you so much.